All right, y'all, it's my absolute joy to be here today with some of the coordinators of Ecovista, our local transition initiative based out of the Isla Vista, Santa Barbara area. For folks who don't know me, my name is Jess Alvarez-Parfrey, Programs Director with Transition US. I was also one of the co-instigators of the Ecovista project. So I'm really excited to catch up with y'all today, hear more about your work. But first, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Elvia Cruz Garcia. Over to you, Elvia.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Elvia. She, her pronouns, and I'm really happy to be here as well. I guess a little introduction. Jess and I met back in 2019, and I was also introduced to Ecovista, and I was attending University of California, Santa Barbara, and during my time there, that's when I heard about Ecovista through one of Professor John's foreign classes, and he's also in the car right now. You all get to hear more about him, but yeah, it was really awesome to hear about how we could work on different projects that will make Isla Vista much more sustainable and regenerative. And it's been really great, like being able to be part of the process. And right now we're looking for funding and making things much more sustainable for our staff members. But John, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm John Foran, and it's a real pleasure to be here, a joy to be here, as Jess would say. And I was a co-instigator of Ecovista with Jess 4 years ago, and everybody on this call has been a core organizer for Ecovista over the last couple of years. And the big idea is to try and turn this community of about 20,000 people, which is adjacent to the University of California at Santa Barbara, where I teach and others have studied here, into something like a local Green New Deal or just transition for words, one big ecologically, democratically, self-sufficiently happy place. It's all about making a happy place. And it's a thrill to be here with Transition US and for Transition US because we're proud to be an Ecovista transition initiative. Ash helped do the writing of that proposal that was accepted. And I'm ultra proud that Elvia and Jess come out of Ecovista and are now staff members at Transition US. So all of these things make it a pleasure to be together. And also, I think that our issues and challenges at Ecovista mirror in some ways those of the larger movement and the Transition US national leadership and vision for the coming year and years ahead. So one problem I'll just briefly mention is raising money. We believe that the people that do the hard work of organizing, who've been volunteers for the last 2 years, should be compensated for that work. And that's led us into the world of fundraising, learning about how to do that, trying to find grants, drafting grants, being rejected, trying again. And that's been a great learning experience all 4 of us have been involved with in the past year. So that will continue because we haven't been successful, and we believe that we want our local activists and organizers to be able to do this work and live in the community by doing this work. So the big idea for the proposal so far has been to try and develop a kind of grassroots, bottom-up, community-driven plan for the future of Isla Vista. And to do that in the new year, we're going to have public forums and house parties, a la Cesar Chavez, and the Green New Deal work locally. We're going to try and reach as many community members as we can and make allies with like-minded organizations who are doing pieces of this work, and at least come with some kind of sense of what the future could be. And we're going to spend a year on that project, whether we get funded or not, but we would be much happier to be funded. And I would feel much better because these are young organizers, literally hungry people, and they need support. And that's what this movement should be able to do. So I'll pass it off to my colleagues and friends to say more.
Thanks, John. I'll go next. I'm Ash, they, them. I've been a part of Ecovista for the past 2 years, and so happy to be a part of this meaningful work. We've been able to do a lot of projects around agroecology, like our food forest in the community that provides free food and herbs for both people and native species. We've had really free markets, things revolved around the ideas of reducing waste and increasing access to quality secondhand items. We've done yoga, spiritual activism, community planning, and collaborating on education. And we just really hope that we can continue to do this work in a way that's sustainable for the environment and for ourselves, so that we can continue to invest time and resources into this meaningful work. Katie, did you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Murray. I'm a longtime Santa Barbara resident, and I'm really excited to be part of Ecovista because it's a great coalition space to be a part of and really reaches out to everyone in the community to try and move toward a more just and verdant world. And that's the kind of world that I want to live in, and I think you do too. I'm really excited for the new year because we're just about to sign a lease for a storefront, and we'd be able to have yeah, we'd be able to have yoga classes there, and we'd be able to support small businesses, perhaps even a free store. We're still working out all the kinks about who's going to be involved and in which way, but we're just really excited to try and have more in-person events and have a physical location for those. And we're really looking for sustainers for transition and also for ourselves so we can keep this storefront open. We really believe in the power of community for healing for everyone, especially after this pandemic. But also, to keep people in the communities, to support those small businesses. And we look forward to hearing from you and also to work with you. I think that's about all I want to say. Maybe someone can talk to the press, Ecovista Press, just a little bit.
I think that might be my cue to be, we want to direct people to our website, of which we're very proud, like everything else about Ecovista, very DIY. Our webmaster was Jessica Minghair, who knew nothing as a student, and we asked her to see if she could do this, and she learned how to do it. And you can see the results at ecovistacommunity.com. One of the projects that Katie just mentioned is we've actually established a publishing house, a kind of e-press called the Ecovista Climate Justice Press. And if you go to the website, you'll find fiction, you'll find full-length nonfiction, you'll find poetry, you'll find a children's book, all available for free. And that's an accomplishment that I feel great about. Jess Parfrey is one of the editorial members of the editorial board, and send us your ideas.
I just quickly respond and react to that amazing, exciting news. I'm so excited. And I think this is really resonant with the alignment we're feeling over at Transition US around the launch of our Regeneration Nation campaign, which is taking a look at how we spread life-affirming models and practices throughout our network and really amplify the message of regeneration. And I would ask the group to kind of reflect on, like, what does it mean to have access to a regenerative livelihood as opposed to just a job or labor, which can often feel very much like an extractive experience? What does it mean to fall in love with your community and the place that you're rooted in? And again, what are the kinds of support that you would like to build within Ecovista? Because I think this, again, is like speaking to what we're trying to do with our Regeneration Core program and really support young people, especially during these really challenging times, to step into newfound leadership and really be supported and cared for by their communities. Considering all of the work that y'all are doing to invest and love on your community, it seems only like the only just and fair thing. So I'd love the group, maybe Elvia, you can start us off and then just have folks kind of react or respond to that.
Yeah, so I honestly think, like, during my time at UCSB, that's when I really learned more about community, because before that, I don't know, I live in Los Angeles right now, and I feel like maybe it doesn't, like maybe I'm not the one reaching out as much to my community. But when I was at UCSB, I definitely felt like the community was just everywhere, and like my passion for like environmental justice really grew as I started taking more classes within the environmental department, and then I started like attending like organizations that hosted events relating to environmental justice or relating to any other topics like that. And that's when I started seeing like the same similar faces every like I would just start getting to know people and just like say hi to each other. And then next, like at different events, you'll start making more friends and more community. And then like those same people, I would invite them to other events that other organizations were hosting, and then just like introducing friends and with each other. And then next, like everyone just sort of knows each other from those fields. And I really, really love that. Like I really, really miss that community, and I really just miss the fun and joy of people meeting one another and just realizing that we're all just like have the same intentions of building communities and building like consciousness of like what steps could be taken in order to walk away from an extractive economy and instead start to implement more of like cares, like communities of cares basically. And I think like we also were able to exercise our imagination and realize that a lot of the answers are not, gonna come from higher up institutions, because they definitely don't want us to, like use our imaginations to like stop accepting their norms as like standards, and instead like we should start making our own norms of what we would like to see in the future. And yeah, just basically walk away from that. And it all comes back to community, like the idea of like not feeling alone, like, oh, I'm not the only person that's thinking like this kind of way, like really, really encourages to like, continue stepping out and reaching out to other people that have similar ideas, and they introduce you to even more ideas of like, oh my god, this is potentially what could happen. And like a lot of indigenous communities have been having a beautiful relationship with the environment. And like, I feel like I'm straying away from the question, but yeah, I think like we should continue uplifting communities of color, indigenous communities, because they definitely have answers, and they've definitely have done like the work to maintain this like beautiful relationship with the environment. And yeah, and I think like we need to just continue like reaching out to more people and invite more people to events, and just like start, honestly it's all about the relationships we have with people. So yeah, I think like it's all about building relationships, and I'm hoping that we can continue building off on that with Transition US and also Ecovista, because I think like we all have like the similar passions, similar goals, and similar just like things that we want to see. So yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to chime in, because I'm just going off now. Ash.
I think being able to work, I think being able to have regenerative work is everything. And I'm really excited in the new year to be able to continue expanding our community networks and work more with local Indigenous people, and continue creating a better community for all of the humans and more than humans that live here. And I am really excited for that. Katie, do you have anything you want to say?
Everything that Elvia said really spoke to me. I've been thinking about a book, the title's escaping my mind right now, but I think there's a general consciousness that's coming around the fact that cities can be predicated on freedom, and actual relationship to the land and actual responsibility to the land that is a form of friendship. And Ecovista is about holding friendship as the basis for the community and the small city, perhaps even that Isla Vista might become for the future, in a nutshell. And I'm excited to work towards that and bring people into our vision, because I think it's something that's inherent in people and they forget. And sometimes they have to be reminded that the things that we're looking for are simple as coming together and deciding what kind of pizza we all want to share, but they're as vast as organizing a whole city. And I have a lot of faith in people, that people can do this work and that they want to do this work. And we just need to make a vehicle for the work to be done, and sometimes just get a few things out of the way. So I'm excited to create that way for people. In terms of what community feels like here and being connected, I think of my mother, and I think of my father. My mother did a lot of recruitment and retention work of Native students at the university level. And I look forward to reaching out to some of those contacts and increasing the scope of our work and going forward in a good way. But I'll pass it on to someone else.
That was beautiful, Katie. Thank you for that. I love that framing of friendship with the land. It's powerful. John, I'm going to send it over to you to have the last word. This has been an absolute joy to spend time with y'all and just get some brief updates about what's going on, and the work continues.
You've all spoken so eloquently and beautifully about the essence of this work and what it feels like to be involved with it. And it does come down to community building. It's about relationship building. And I remember saying to Jess when she left Isla Vista that, you know, some of the most beautiful conversations of my life have been those conversations where we were just thinking up crazy ideas and just sparking our imaginations. And some of that is coming to pass. So those conversations are important. Those relationship building is important. It's important to one aspect of the community we'd like to improve is the fact that so many young people live here, get an education and a degree, and then they have to leave because there's not meaningful work or affordable housing and food to remain in this community. And we want to change that. We feel that's what a circular economy is about, a new kind of economy where we generate meaningful work for the folks that live here. And the other part of that is building relationships between the 80% of Isla Vista that's between ages 18 and 24, and the rest of the community, the longstanding residents of Isla Vista, California, with a long and rich history of struggle for democracy and struggle for ecology, and that represent the beauty of very diverse cultures. As one of the things about Ecovista, Isla Vista, is the diversity of the folks in it on every dimension. And we get to try and put things together. This is a multi-generational movement to save ourselves. And it's fun to do. Nobody can dispute the amount of fun that we have, and that's what keeps us going. That and seeing, you know, that our efforts sometimes lead somewhere that didn't exist before. And that's kind of how we think about Ecovista. We say a pledge, a promise, a dream for the future. And we get to do it right here and now. It's very lovely.
This work is happening here and now, and we really want to thank folks across the network for what you're doing in your communities, for spending some time with Ecovista. Again, an absolute joy And I'm really excited and looking forward to what we are going to do together in the new year. Thanks all.